Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Dave.
Welcome. Hi, Paul, to the XR podcast.
Yeah.
No prizes for guessing what we're talking about today.
It looks like we've both got halos from the from our heads are in the way of the controllers.
Oh, I
Okay.
see. Oh, are they? Well, I'll
Yeah.
briefly move back. But I think there's a close up on the next picture anyway.
I
So,
don't know where I'm rolling to on my chair. That's the problem. I'm gonna roll into something.
well, today it's a bit of chat about PSVR2
Yeah.
acronyms, baby. So, all the media outlets have been given time with it. We haven't because we are scrubs. So, we don't get to do stuff like that
I quite
yet.
like Scrubs, but that's a different story.
Never watched it.
What?
Um,
Bloody hell! Somebody comment about that. That's a disgrace.
yeah, so they all dropped pictures, as you can see, and some information. So we thought we'd just have a chat about it
Yeah.
and basically regurgitate what they've already said.
That's what we like to do.
Yeah.
Regurgitation. Yeah.
um, so we can see that it looks a bit different to the original. I don't own a PSVR.
Well,
Have you ever owned?
you
No, you
say
haven't, have
that,
you? Either?
but the actual mechanism's kind of the same. Like it's the old Halo. It sits on the
Yeah.
top of the front of your head and under
Yes.
the back of it. No, I don't know why I'm doing that with my hand because it doesn't track the back of your the back of your head on the headset. So you can lift the front like it pivots, so it can in and out like that. Do, do, do. So you can lift it up when you've got it on your head, which is much better than elastic base straps.
I'm gonna have to do some editing. Something just came up on the screen.
I wondered what the ding was. This is like this is only the second time ever Dave shared something on this podcast, and
Yeah.
the only two episodes that have got something wrong in them are the two where Dave say, shared something. Aren't they, Dave? It's 100% record. That deserves a high five. Awkward high five.
Oh,
Awkward high five.
consistency, if nothing else, eh? Let's see how we get on. Hopefully, we don't have to restart. There we go. That went weird. Yeah. So, like you were saying, I think that it does have similar mechanisms. It seems a bit because with the Quest 2, it's just got elasticated straps. Obviously, you can't see my hand as you said, but
Yeah.
So you literally just stretch it over your head, and then you can slightly adjust it with a little movable clasp at the back. So that's pretty easy to don the headset.
It is, but it means that like all the weight is just on your face, pulling your face down.
Yes,
That's the
but
problem.
So I watched the Eurogamer video on this. Obviously, other media outlets are available, as you can see on the screen. We're not sponsored by anyone yet, and yeah, Ian Higton, who does all their VR stuff, explained how to get it on. So there's a button. I think it's on the right hand side. So on the image, it would be obviously here, which you press, and that allows you to move. They call it the scope, the front piece forward. So you do that. You put it, and then you have to press the button on the back, which allows you to extend the elastic. Then, so you can fit it over your head. Then you can turn the knob that is at the back to tighten that, and then you have to push the scope forward. So
wow,
it's quite...
you've made that sound super complicated. I'm pretty sure it's just there's a dial on the back, which also has a button in the middle, and you press the button.
You have to press the button on the front to loosen the scope in the first place.
Do you?
You have to do that. Yeah, you went through it.
Wow.
I watched it.
Okay. Anyway, I'm pretty sure in practice it's relatively straightforward. You press a button to extend it, you clamp it around your head, and then you tighten the thing.
Wow, your eyes went weird then and then big. Yeah, well, anyway, this time they're calling it see-through, not pass-through, because everyone's got to be different.
Oh, God almighty. There's nothing like standardization.
Yeah, so
this looked cool. I saw this on the video.
Yeah, it's better than this Quest 2 in that it, I presume, uses LiDAR and things like that to scan your environment.
I'm
or
pretty
an
sure it
equivalent
must,
anyway.
because
Yeah.
so it, as you can see on the front up there,
Mm.
there appears to be 4 cameras on the front
Yeah.
for doing the pass-through stuff, and they're black and white. But the video we saw had a person like looking around their room in their apartment or whatever it was, and it appeared to be creating a mesh over their sofa and all of that, all the furniture in their room, which is very much like there's an app called Polycam. If you've got a reasonably latest iPhone that's got a LiDAR sensor in, you can 3D scan things, and it looks very similar to that.
Yeah.
So it knows where obstacles are, as opposed to now you just, like on the Quest or on like the Index or the Vive or whatever, you draw a safe square where or whatever that you can
Yeah.
you can
You
sit
can
in.
tweak it after it's scanned. So if you're not happy and you think there's a lamp that's tall there, I'm gonna just take it in a bit. You can
Yeah,
obviously do that,
yeah,
and or you can go, yeah, I'll risk it and make it even bigger.
yeah. Or my
Hate that
cat has
lamp.
moved, and now there isn't a giant lump there; it's over there instead.
Yeah, yeah. So that's cool. It's got a little toggle. You can possibly just about see it. There's a little wheel here, and that is for altering the space between the lenses for your
Focus.
eyes.
Oh, is it
Yeah.
the IPD business?
Yes, it's the IPD. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that is how you can have different people use it. You would just wheel that,
yeah,
and it would change
yeah.
the setup. I don't think there's too much more in terms of the physicals of the headset. It's obviously internally much, much more powerful. God knows what this is going to cost. Like Resident Evil Village on it
Yeah,
looks like Resident Evil Village on a PS5. So
yeah.
you essentially have a
They're
PS5 on your face.
higher res screens inside, aren't they? They're OLED screens as well this time.
Wow. Okay.
So blacks are actual black inside. So
Yeah.
I saw a report of somebody saying, well, when they were in Resident Evil and they're in the dark wandering around, it felt like they were actually in the dark.
Yeah. Well,
So
that's good.
that means not much in the way of light bleeding through the whatever gasket thing they've got around the face as well.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously it's open to you fitting it properly.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're a bit of an idiot. So moving on
Look
from the
straight
headset
at me as you said that.
briefly.
Thanks.
I think if I just hit
Controllers.
no,
Controllers looked pretty. Oh, look
yeah,
at you!
we've got a zoomed in of the controller. Yeah,
Like the controllers look pretty standard. Like if you've used an Index controller, they're like mapped out very similar to that, or the Oculus Meta controllers, the same sort of two main function buttons. There's a
yeah,
PlayStation button and an options button, and then there's a trigger and a grip button.
yeah. I
Um,
presume that this white button acts as like, in this case, L2, because I know that
yes,
there's one on
it
the side
does.
here that is definitely L1 because it says it on
Yeah,
it.
so the one that's kind of down in your palm is L1 for grabbing
Mm,
stuff, and the standard trigger, which is that one further up at the top,
yeah,
would be your pew pew buttons.
yeah,
Because
and you've got
obviously
two.
every game that comes out is going to be guns, because that's all
Probably
anybody can seem to do.
puzzle games do work though. I'm playing the Room VR at the moment, and I'm
Oh yeah,
really enjoying it.
yeah. I'm not saying there aren't other games. Like The Room
No,
is
no,
one. One of our favourites that I don't think we've actually talked about on the podcast before. Walkabout Golf
no, yeah.
is a, I'm going to say crazy golf because I'm English. But
Why is it in America?
it's called mini golf in America. Hence, yeah, yeah. But that is I think my pretty much my favorite VR game ever, and I include Half-Life Alex in that, and that is an amazing experience. But
But you're not playing it with me.
well, exactly. I tend to get motion sick from moving around, and you don't get any of that in Walkabout Golf because you can just teleport everywhere. Whereas a
Yeah,
lot of the PlayStation games are all aimed at, oh, I'm first person, I'm running around, and so
yeah,
I guess that's why I'm less interested in this. That and the fact that now I've got used to having no cables on a headset. Um, it's going to be hard going back to a 10.
Yeah, I mean they have reduced. It's just one cable with this, I think, isn't it?
I would expect so.
I think
I
it
don't
is.
know for
I'm
sure,
sure I've
but
heard that.
yeah.
Yeah, and obviously on
It
the
also means
controllers.
you've got to be in the place where your PlayStation 5 is.
Yes, yeah. You can't wander into the kitchen and grab a snack.
No. The other thing that this is starting to sound like I've got a big downer on this headset already, and I don't because I haven't used it, and I'm sure it will be great. And from the tracking and everything, it'll be light years better than the first PlayStation VR.
Oh yeah,
which just used those weird light jobbies,
yeah,
which
yeah, and it
floated
had the
around all
move
over the shop.
controllers, didn't it? Which apparently
Yeah.
these are so much better.
Yeah. The one thing that I was disappointed by is there's no sound, there's no headset, headphone. There's no way of using sound on this unless you put headphones on.
Oh, it doesn't have it baked in.
Does not have it baked in. You need
He didn't
headphones
say that
with
on the
it.
video I watched. I'm sure he didn't.
Yeah, and so like it looks like it's designed, with the PlayStation headphones, which are in the same color scheme and all the rest of it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I saw
Pulse
somebody
headset.
saying, well, it means that I can't quite have the headset in the right place because the headphones interfere. The other thing is having used a Vive early on and needing big headphones on with that while I was using it. Having something on your face gets you hot, and having something over your ears gets you hot. Having the two things together gets you hotter.
Well,
and it's
yeah.
like if you're going to be doing any sort of moving around in these games, and you're basically covered your entire head in electronics, you're probably going to get hot quite quickly. But anyway,
there we go.
Anyway, I'll try to be more positive now.
Yeah, please. Yeah, you can see the button on the inside of the handle there.
Oh yeah.
Just about.
I like the way they've
What else
made
have we got?
the bit you're gripping with your hands black instead of white. So, because you all know the PlayStation controller, any PlayStation or Xbox controllers or whatever, you give them to your kids and you end up with grubby, horrible, disgusting marks on things.
You're not going to give this to your kids. It's going to cost about 1,200
well,
quid,
that's
I
true.
think.
Yeah.
You can see the wheel we mentioned as well there for sorting out the IPG, and a much better view of the actual.
Like the gasket bit, like I quite like that. That looks like it's like a concertina thing to keep it light and gentle against your face as opposed to a giant piece of foam.
Yeah, and at the back as well.
Yeah.
What else have
Yeah,
we
only
got?
your face isn't at the back. But
There's
whatever.
the screens, as it were. Apparently, the bit around your face is very comfortable as well, that we can see there.
Oh yeah,
Which is
technology-wise, like
important.
I'm assuming they're pancake lenses. I'm not entirely sure, but I should have probably looked into this. But I thought you'd have done some research.
Come on, man! I wasn't going that deep. Look, I don't even know what the hell a pancake lens is. So crack on.
Never mind.
Well,
It's just a new type of lens. It's a way of it's you and your bloody food.
Don't care then.
It's a way of it focusing on the screen but being closer without a lot of dead space in the headset, which means they can make it smaller, close to your face, all the stuff that you want.
Bacon?
Because the further out you get, obviously, the heavier everything gets, and it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You then need to have like a cane underneath it to support it with wheels on.
Yeah, that'd be quite good. Anyway.
A very close up of the little dial that we keep talking about.
Yeah. Too much focus on the dial. Sorry.
Well, there's focus on the camera. So
very good.
Yeah, there's no Oh, it does actually say L2. There you go. I couldn't see on the other picture.
Yeah.
There you go. And the share button is just out of focus there next to the analog joystick as well.
Yeah.
So you can still do all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's got all the haptics business that's built into the PlayStation 5
controller. Oh yes, it's in the
hasn't
face and the controllers. Yeah, it's in the headset.
It's in the
as well.
face.
It's in the headset too.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I don't know if that means if you get a headshotted that you
you actively come out with a black eye.
Yeah, he definitely said on the Eurogamer that it is in the headset as well. So.
Oh, that I don't know how I feel about that. It's a bit weird.
You could
Anyway,
probably turn it off though.
probably. It's
So
all
it's
right
just
because it's in a closed ecosystem of
back to
PlayStation.
the start
But
now.
any sort of haptics in a sort of more open headset might lead to disturbing scenarios.
Yeah, so I think it is going to be very much a high performance device. And like I said, it looks like you are essentially having a
Yeah.
PS5 on your face. So
Yeah,
um,
it'll be really interesting to see how they price it compared to
mm,
the Cambria or Quest Pro, I should say, headset
yeah,
coming out and
because
that
you
sort of
are
thing.
still tethered as well, and that is a big factor.
Exactly,
It's
because a
not
lot.
when I'm saying you've got.
So the actual compute is in your PS5,
Yeah,
which is sat
that's
in
what
the
I
corner of the
mean.
room or
When I'm saying
whatever.
you've got a PS5 on your face, you haven't. It's the screens that are the quality.
I suppose nothing
Um,
stops you putting your PS5 on your face as well if you want. But
How big is your face?
it's pretty big. It's pretty big. You can wear it like a hat,
Yeah,
like upright, like that.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to get really hot if you've got a PlayStation 5 on your head.
Well, it stays quite cool. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, so I'm excited to know more. I'm not convinced that I'll buy it
Yeah.
because,
They
like you
demoed
said,
it
I've
with
not.
a
Go
limited
on.
set of games, didn't they?
Yeah, so I've seen Resident Evil Village. There was a Star
Yep.
Wars one that they announced yesterday.
Yep. There was the
Uh,
Horizon
yes, that's
something of
the
the mount
flagship game, isn't it? It's gonna.
something of
I
the
think that's gonna
mountain.
be. Yeah, I think that's gonna be on it when you get it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, you
yeah,
need something with it, and
the Astro was on the PS5.
yeah, and then there was Walking Dead, Saints and
Oh
Sinners
yeah,
2
pew
or
pew.
something.
Yeah, pew pew.
Yeah, shooty zombies, like like the most derivative thing you could possibly do in a VR headset.
All right.
Sorry if you worked on
Absolutely
that
review
game.
bombing this, so it's not even out.
Sorry, no, and it might be an amazing game. It might be an amazing game, but if
Hey,
if the games industry has done anything over the last 20 years, it's go very much down the shoot zombies road.
Well, I think that's because House of the Dead did it so well in the arcades, and then no one's actually been able to replicate that. So there
Anyway,
you go. Anyway, let's move on from this. Is there anything else you want to talk about before the user submitted question?
no, I think that was it.
Oh,
It'd
no.
been just there's been no mention of price, has there? Other than it's going to
Not
be
at all,
quite
no.
expensive.
Yeah, and it's still just next year, but
Yeah, and you
yeah.
have to have a PlayStation 5. They've put the PlayStation 5 up. If you don't live in America, they put it up everywhere. If you live in America, you're lucky, and they've not moved the price. But
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they price it because, like you say, you have to own that console, so that has to be factored in.
Can you remember what the original one was priced at?
Wasn't it the same as the console? Like, was it like three at the time it came out? So was it like 350 something?
Something like that, wasn't it?
I think.
Yeah. This wouldn't surprise me if this is going to be close on to the price of the PlayStation 5.
I think it has to be, yeah, with the
Yeah.
screens and that. I don't think that it should be, but I think it has to be.
At the end of the day, I think you're pretty much going to get PC VR, as they call it, level quality, aren't you?
Yeah. To be fair, yeah.
So
the sound thing is a massive bummer, though. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Just some sort of headphone. Like I really like that. So I'm using the deluxe audio strap intended for the Vive, which has little earpieces that come down on your ears, so they're not covering your ears, but they're on your ears. But my index goes one better. They float just off your ears, which means nothing on your ears, so your ears aren't getting hot. And those and you're more aware of what's going on around you as well because you're not got anything.
True, and you don't like smack your 3-year-old son in the face with the headset on.
Yep, I haven't done that. That sounds like something Dave might have.
No, I'm just saying there's an example of how it could go horribly wrong with the headphones on.
Very specific. No,
let's not get me in trouble with any services. I have never struck my child. Thank you very much. It's out there.
Fair enough. Okay.
Doesn't say they don't deserve it sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So we had a question on our latest video from, I don't know if it's a word, so I'm just going to, it's LAKRYT, which presumably is YouTube. Where that person asked how we do this in terms of recording. So
Okay.
we're not going to
So
go to the nth degree with
we're
this,
going to
but
go to
Paul
the
will give
sausage
you an
factory.
overview.
Factory. We're going to go behind the scenes.
Yeah, Paul will give you an overview of how this works.
It's really not massively complicated.
It's a bit fiddly, but not
we're
complicated.
in workrooms, and obviously you can only record from your perspective in the
Yep.
headset itself. But what you can do in workrooms is you can get people to join a video call, which appears on a floating TV over
right
where you people are. And so I join anonymously from a browser. So I just use the workroom link to join without using my account, because otherwise it'll log me out my headset, which is
Yep.
very useful. And so then I have that screen in a web browser from this perspective that you're watching it from. And then I use OBS basically to capture the feed from that and the sounds as well. So we record those two things, and Bob's your uncle.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. But a lot of recording, because I've mentioned this before, I don't like recording from my perspective, because while me wobbling my head from side to side is perfectly fine while I'm doing it, if you're watching that in a static video, it's not a particularly pleasant experience. And so
Depends. Did
I'm,
people enjoy the short with the rock, paper, scissors?
Oh well, that was quite fun. Yeah, I like in a very small snippet, then it's fine. But if you're watching something for 15 minutes or half an hour, like it's not going to be great. And so a lot of these things need some sort of camera facility so you can actually do proper recordings, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's why I've not been spamming the channel with walkabout golf footage, because it is my perspective.
Yeah.
May or may not be some shorts coming up. Who knows?
I've got some ideas of actually recording that, but you really then need a camera operator, because that's how Walkabout themselves do they do their own like podcast within the golf, where they play with different people and talk to them all the way around. But they have a dedicated person using a headset as a camera, so they're having to control that in the real world and move it around. So that's not
so it's not attached to a face as such. It's not wobbly. It's they're flying it around and
they've got the headset effectively on a tripod to keep it steady, and then they're using the joystick controls to move it around, I think, which is a unique way of doing it.
So if anyone wants that job without pay,
because nobody gets pay around here. But but obviously, that means you need another person to record it, where it's much easier where it's static.
And they don't get to play golf either, so it's absolutely rubbish job. But please let us know if you want it.
Well, you say that they get to see us. They get to.
True. You get to be in the comedy as it happens.
Anyway, so I hope that helps. I hope that answers your question. Give us a thumbs up if you haven't already. Comment again to say, yay.
That helped. Thanks.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And any other questions, we will address them in podcast form. Because it can be difficult to explain in a load of text on a comment. So if we acknowledge it, which we try to do, obviously, then we'll talk about it on the next one. Which might not be so immediate. I mean, it was coincidence that I said I want to do one about this. It's just happened, so you may have to wait.
But hopefully not very long.
No.
More and shorter.
Right.
I think that does it, doesn't it?
So if you like the content, like the video,
like
if you want to see more, subscribe. Ignore that thing that's talking.
Wow.
If you really like it, hit the bell to be notified every time there's a video.
Ding bell. Had to get it in.
And even if you dislike it because it's all stats. And all helps the algorithm of YouTube crapness. My YouTube.
For those people that know Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, do your Hector Salamanca. Bing, 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 bing. You don't know what that is because you haven't watched it. You're a disgrace.
No, I like the motion
Breaking
though.
Bad. Yeah, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Scrubs. Jesus.
I know who he is.
I don't even know you. Leave a comment about how terrible Dave is for not watching those things.
Yeah.
And
if you'd like to replace me, please let me know. Because I might be out of a task here.
So, brilliant.
Thanks,
everybody.
See you next time.
Bye.
Whoa.